This podcast is entirely listener supported. To find out how you can help, head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. Oh, God, the fallacy of freedom. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carbone.
Hello, concerned citizens. Man, schools.
Good God.
What are they good for? You're not going to finish that?
I think they're good for some stuff.
They're good for some stuff. This is the thing. Arizona schools.
Yeah.
Arizona schools are literally ripping pages on contraception out of biology books.
Wow. So they just don't want the kids to know about contraception? Seems like a subject that would be useful for the young, dumb, and full of cum generation to know about.
Sure. Well, I mean, so here's the deal. It's the Gilbert Public Schools Governing Board in Arizona. They got this new high school biology book, and they found out that it describes how an abortion-inducing...
I got an abortion.
That's basically how
it was induced.
That's how they say it in Gilbert, I think. These are these people.
Maybe that's why they tore
I got an abortion induced.
Maybe that's why they tore the pages out. They're like,
you can't tell me what to do. I'm a grown-up. I don't have to do anything anybody tells me to. I got an abortion induced. No, it describes a pill that induces abortion. They got a lot of complaints, and the schools decided to redact the book, remove it.
This wasn't a book that was saying, hey, kids, why don't you go out and get this? It wasn't an advertisement for this pill.
Oh, no. I mean, looking at the page here, it's Inducey, the abortion drug.
Inducey.
And he just says, hey, kids, why have a baby? No, this is a science book. And actually, so what happened was they were going to remove the book from the curriculum, but they decided to just yank that one page because it's just one page out of the whole book.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just ripped it out. Rachel Maddow actually put the page up on her site, and it's a science book page about contraception. It explains what contraception is.
Yeah.
Contraception is when you willingly and knowingly decide to stop a pregnancy before it happens, right?
Right.
You're going to stop conception. And that's all it says. It's like you decide not to conceive. Mm-hmm. And so you can use different methods have been used for that throughout history. Here are some things that have been used. Right. The end, moving on.
Don't want that in the kids' brains is what they're saying. They're saying the way to have contraception is to prevent the knowledge of contraception from the minds of young people.
Yes, if we don't ever tell the kids about murder, which you shouldn't tell kids about murder because they grow up to be murder kids.
Right.
If you let kids know that killing
is a thing?
Yeah, if you let them know that killing is an option,
right.
What is a kid going to do?
They would always kill.
If you've got two options and one of them is to kill,
right.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, and if you can contracept, then you probably will be contracepting all the time.
I'm contracepting left and right. No, so this is what's crazy though is, regardless of what your opinion is on contraception, regardless of what your opinion is on abortion, regardless of what your opinion is on any of this stuff, it exists.
Right.
It's a thing.
Right.
Because it is a thing in the world, we should probably know about it.
I would suspect...
Because it's a biology book, it should probably explain what it is because it exists.
I would suspect that the other side of this argument is if you remove the bad stuff from the act, if you educate people about the fact that you can responsibly prevent certain things from the act, then it will lead people to think the act is not potentially dangerous, right? And that if you say to them, hey, there are ways to be responsible about this and have sex and not get pregnant, then, oh my gosh, everyone's going to totally have sex because it's no consequences.
Yeah.
Right? Which, dude, is stupid.
Let me tell you something. Going back to the murder thing. If you kill a guy with an icicle.
Right. It'll melt.
I
heard that one.
And then also, leaves no...
the doctor is his mom.
Who?
The guy.
What guy?
The dude who was in the... You never heard that riddle? You never heard that word? I was doing the other riddle.
What riddle?
The riddle about the...
Are you saying that my mom is a doctor?
You didn't know that about your mom?
What kind of... Can she get me contracepts?
I'm pretty sure she can write a prescript for some contracepts.
What is a prescript? If I stab her with an icicle...
Yes.
Can I get away with it?
Well, if it's a hot day, probably. If you're doing it in midwinter, icicle's not going to melt, bro.
Can you make your own icicle, say in the freezer?
I'm sure you could if you get a mold, some sort of icicle mold.
But you would have to get rid of the icicle mold because the icicle mold itself is proof.
I feel like giving you all this information is making you want to do this.
Oh, I'm going to do hella icicle murders. I'm going to do so many icicle murders this winter. It's going to be crazy.
I don't think you should do that.
I don't care what you think. But this is the thing, right? Like, if you teach kids that you can jump out of a plane with a parachute, well, kids are just going to be jumping out of planes all the time. That doesn't make any sense. Fun. It's such a weird way to try to head something off that doesn't even need to be head off.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's like saying if we put seatbelts in cars, people are going to drive faster.
But that's what people said.
Yeah.
Back in the day, that's what people said. They're like, oh, if you put seatbelts on, or like, I heard somebody say, actually, this is a thing that people thought in New York. If you wear a helmet when you ride your bicycle, cars will be more reckless around you.
Oh, yeah, man. That's
because
totally
they'll
true.
know that your head is protected.
It's like bumper cars now.
And I
you just
heard
have to run right into them.
Dude, but there were people all up and down the cycling community in New York who thought this. Like, I heard that. And I was like, do you really think that cars that have hit cyclists had time to think beforehand, this is okay, he's got a helmet? Like, I'm just going to go ahead and hit this guy because he has a helmet.
And you have that split second of, do I push the brake?
Yeah.
No.
Or does he have a helmet? Yeah.
I'm just going to keep barreling on through.
But that's what this is like, well, if we let them know that this thing that we're against can happen, they'll just do it.
Side note, have you seen that crazy inflatable helmet thing that Norwegian lady invented? I think Norwegian, Swiss lady. Did you see the crazy inflatable helmet thing that was invented? That's an airbag helmet that comes out. Would you risk your life with wearing that?
I'd totally wear that.
You would wear that and no other helmet?
Looks like it works.
It looks like it works.
Yeah.
It does look like it works.
Dude, let me tell you something. You buy a helmet from a store, you pay $30 for a helmet?
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems like it's going to work, right?
Well, it doesn't need to deploy.
No.
Just saying. It's there the whole time. There is a cushion between your head and the pavement.
True.
That will always be there.
Well, it's like this. The motion sensors in your laptop that stop a hard drive from going bust when you drop it.
Yeah.
Those work. It's the same thing. And that happens pretty fast.
Yeah. I guess that's...
is there a chance it's going to fail? Yes. Is there a chance that your airbags are going to fail? Yes. Is there a chance that your brakes are going to fail? Yes. I cut them. Is there a chance that,
Yes, I cut them. Wait a minute. This from the guy. We just had an argument about going to the place that one person got food poisoning from.
Yeah.
And you were like, there's no way in hell I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. And now you're like, Mr. Risk.
Well, because no, my friend. Number one, this restaurant that we went to had multiple people complaining about food poisoning.
Two. It had two.
Two that I knew.
Right.
4 more on Yelp.
Okay.
Over the last month.
Right.
Now.
And how many people are in that restaurant per day?
No, but listen. If Consumer Reports said, hey, or a bunch of people on the Amazon review for this inflatable helmet said, hey, got into a bike crash, helmet didn't seem to come out, I'm kind of paralyzed. Would I buy the helmet then? No.
So you're willing to take the risk.
There is no proof yet. When you go to the restaurant, if nobody's ever gotten sick from the food, you can assume that you're not going to get sick from the food. The more something fucks up, that means the higher the probability is that it's going to fuck up when you're there, right?
I suppose.
That's math, Jeff. That's just math we're doing.
Right.
If this helmet doesn't deploy for 50 people out of 1,000, or 50 people, let's just say 50 people total, I'm not doing it. But we haven't heard about that.
In our little anecdotal study, it was 6.
Yeah.
Out of how many did people go there a day?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. 6
of those helmets fail. I won't do it either.
All right.
One of those helmets fails. I'm probably not going to do it. That's what PR and marketing firms are for. To stop people like me, when bad things happen with their product, to stop people like me from going, some shit went down with those guys. I'm going with these guys.
So I hate to bring this up, but I feel like in a weird bastardization way, you're actually contradicting your point about the books, because you're talking about having information on which to base your risk level.
No, because if there was a thing that said, hey, this is what contraception is, these are the methods, and then you decided to use contraception or an abortion-inducing drug, and you looked online and you heard that there were deadly side effects to this abortion-inducing drug, then you don't use it.
Right.
The knowledge of an abortion-inducing drug is not bad. The knowledge of this helmet is not bad.
Well, but now I hate being the mouthpiece for people whose opinions I strenuously.
Then don't do it, Jeff.
But
don't be their mouthpiece.
What they
Jeff.
would say is that the risk that they're talking about isn't whether or not to use that drug. The risk they're talking about is the thing that drug prevents, the risk of sex, right? It eliminates the risk. So having knowledge of that risk level, the fact that reduces the risk level from one admittedly fucked up perspective, gives people more information on which to take that risk.
I think
don't give them the
I get what they're
information.
saying. I'm saying it's a leap.
I agree with you.
Knowing that lions exist doesn't make me want to go stick my head in the mouth of a lion.
Right, but what if it felt like sex?
I would stick my head in the mouth of a lion.
Yeah, exactly.
If there were lions around.
And if not, I'd find lions, or at least a website that showed a lot of lions.
Yeah, I'd just go to lion websites all the time and rub my head.
Oh my God, there'd be so many, like a store where you could get like a plastic mold of a lion head that you could just, lion mouth, that you could just stick your head in. Oh man, there'd be industries around it.
Yeah.
It would be.
But this is the thing.
Circuses would be rated M for mature.
If there was any editorialization in that textbook at all, I would understand where they were coming from. I would.
Right.
If there was any pro-contraception or anti-contraception information in that science book,
right,
I would want it removed. That includes like pro-contraception. If there was something that was like, hey kids,
I'm pro-contraception.
I'm pro-contraception, but if there was something that was like, hey kids, contraception means you should have sex all the time, right?
That's what our rock and roll music is for.
It doesn't belong in a science book.
Right.
That's just explaining what contraception is.
Right.
If you want to give me data about the percentage of effectiveness that contraception has, if you want to give me any sort of empirical data that could let me know about the way contraception affects health, that's fine. As long as it's empirical data. That belongs in a science book. I don't think political leanings one way or the other belong in a science book. But here's the thing.
But that's the problem. Everything is politicized now.
Well, everything is politicized. But also, here's the other thing. A lot of the data is going to tell you to use contraception.
Yes.
Because it's a good idea.
Well, that's the real fucking problem, is that shit that is cut and dried, that is data-driven, that is measurable, is now politicized.
Sure.
And that some people say, well, don't stick your data in my opinion, and, don't stick your...
But the book doesn't tell you to have sex.
Well, the thing...
That's the thing.
I agree with you. I hate the fact that I'm presenting the other side, but the truth is, what the perception of the other side is, that's exactly what the book is telling you. Because in the same way that having information about whether or not to wear the inflatable helmet tells you whether or not to take the risk of riding your bike, because riding a bike is joyful and sex-like, in the same way, having data about risk mitigation will influence someone whether to do a pleasurable act that could get them in trouble.
Yeah, sure. Yes, but... they're not saying have sex out of, I don't know, man. It's just crazy that you would take it to that conclusion.
Right.
Because that's putting a lot of subtext into it. It's putting a lot of your own subtext into it. It's like, well, if you tell kids that sex is safer, then they'll just do it. Kids are just going to do it anyway.
Oh, that's the truth.
Telling kids that something is more safe doesn't make them more likely to do it. Kids are just going to do something.
Well... yes,
that's kids.
Every molecule in their body is telling them to do it.
Dude,
it is nothing.
And it's
to do
not
with
even sex. It's not even stuff like that. I used to jump off of roofs. I went through a period where I would jump off roofs as long as the building was like 2 stories or less. I'd just jump off the roof of that building.
Just for fun?
Why? I don't know why. Ask me why now. I'm a grown man. Ask me why I jumped off roofs.
Why did you jump off roofs?
Fuck knows, man. It just seemed like an idea. Just jump off the fucking roof.
Hey, Jimmy, look at this. Look what I found buried in the backyard. Look at this. It looks like a page from my biology book.
Huh.
And look, there's a whole There's a whole section here on jumping off of roofs.
What is this?
Look at that.
Turns out I could be breaking every bone in my body by jumping off this roof.
Why did they tear this out of our book?
I don't know.
Do you want to go jump off the roof?
I mean, yeah, I want to go jump off the roof. Here's the thing.
What?
I don't want to do anything that was in my science book.
Oh, science is so boring.
Why do we ever want to jump off of roofs? It's
Remember
just
that
science.
You remember that whole week where we were dissecting frogs for
Yeah.
fun, and then all of a sudden we found out we do it in biology class?
Ugh.
Oh, that's no fun
I don't
anymore.
want to cut a frog open ever again. I guess let's go step on rusty nails.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Woo! I don't know. There's an argument to be made either way. Tell a kid something's safe and everything's cool and they should do it, and they're less likely to do it. Tell a kid that something's dangerous and awful and off limits, and they're more likely. I don't know, man.
I'll tell you this.
Present facts and let human beings make decisions.
I guess. I'll tell you this. I do feel like growing up in the age of terrifying STDs made me not ever have sex without a condom.
Yeah. And
Ever.
dude, that's information. That's just
Yeah.
information we were given. Like, hey, man, sex will kill you.
Right.
Oh, really? Yeah, and if it doesn't, it's just going to make you weird and sick for the rest of your life. Oh, huh. Well,
So,
I mean, is there a way to stop that? Yeah, there's a way to, make that less likely to happen. Oh, okay. And telling me that there was a way to make it less likely that I would get sick did not make me want to have sex more. I
Right.
wanted to have sex the same amount.
Yeah.
I was going to have sex the same amount.
Right.
But it was good to know at the same time you told me,
How to do it
yeah.
safely.
Because here's the thing
as
about
safe as
kids.
possible.
Here's the thing about kids. Gambler's fallacy. Kids are all into that.
Yeah.
It's
they
happening.
love gambling sex.
It's happening, but it's not happening to me.
Right.
One in a million people? Pfft.
Yeah.
1 in 100,000 people? Pfft. 1 in more than 5 people? I can't
just between me and you, it's probably going to happen to you.
Yeah, it's probably you, dude.
Yeah.
If the both of us are going to go off and have sex right now and one of us is going to die, I bet it's you. That's kids.
Yeah, that is kids.
So at least put the information out there. But I know that
Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm going to have sex right now.
Oh, right on. Me too.
Well, statistically, one of us is doomed.
I know statistically you're doomed
Well, here's the thing.
because you're lame.
I'm not going to have sex.
Dude, I'm having sex.
If you don't, though,
Yeah.
much better odds for me.
Don't try to tell me math. Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm cooler than you. We're both going to have sex. God loves cools. I live another day.
I'm not saying you're not cooler than me. We
Well,
know you're cooler than me.
Yeah,
That's
do.
why it's so amazing that I'm actually going to get to have sex.
Oh, it's great for you. I think you
Jennifer
should do it.
is saying tonight's the night.
Yeah.
I can't believe how uncool I am, and this is happening. So please just don't, so that I can live. I want to live
Uh-huh.
to brag about this moment.
No, I think that's how math works, and this makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Here's another thing.
Okay.
You're not cool, like we've discussed that.
Right. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, you know that you're not cool.
I know that.
This is probably the only chance you're going to get for
Yes,
sex.
exactly.
You might as well die afterwards.
You make a fair point.
All right, now let's jump off this roof and head towards the girls.
Kids.
Kids. Oh, to be younger and dumber.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think we all agree that this is terrible. What this all comes down to is the unfortunate grasp that a lot of these markets have over the content of textbooks.
Yes, which is terrifying.
You've read a lot of stuff. I've read a lot of stuff about really, really conservative markets in Texas, Kansas, Arizona, places like that buy millions and millions of textbooks that force editorial changes in textbooks that are just information. Textbooks are not cool stories that are trying to convince kids to do things one way or another.
But
that's
not
textbooks.
how those people think, because everything is politicized now.
Yeah.
They do think that information is slanted, that information has an agenda. And that's the
it
scary
has
thing
the
for
agenda of making you smarter. And if that's a problem for them, and it is,
me. And it is.
just go jump off a roof. It's perfectly safe. I read it somewhere.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
How about you and I
Yeah.
write up a page
Mhm.
about how jumping off roofs head first, super cool.
Yeah.
Just stick that right in. Missing page replaced. Calling the stupids. Hashtag jump off a roof head first.
Hashtag do I burn. Hashtag bear selfie. Hashtag spike lobby. yeah, you know, you know what I would actually love to hear from people. We know what our beliefs are. I'm very clearly not a religious person. I'm very clearly not a fundamentalist person. But I would
Neither of us.
Yeah, but I would love to hear from people who maybe are, and I would love to hear what the danger of having this information is. Or if people really feel that way, or if this is just, I think this is a very extremist group and a very extremist organization kind of affecting, pushing their will onto things. I don't think this is most people who are spiritual and religious. I don't think, and that's the other thing, when you talk about everything getting politicized, I think people tend to have that knee-jerk reaction. That because I'm saying that this page should be put back in this book, I'm against somebody's religious beliefs. I'm not. I would love to just hear how that counteracts somebody's religious beliefs, because I don't think it does.
Yeah, I mean, I did my best in this episode to try to present the other side, but I fear I have done a terrible job because I don't actually believe it. You know? So, I mean, I think for the sake of the discussion, I was trying to get inside that point of view. But if there's anybody out there that actually does feel like it's a good idea to take the idea of contraception out of a biology textbook, I would love to hear from that person if they can communicate that in a coherent way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. You can hit us up on Twitter. I'm at @acarboni.
And I'm at Jeff Canada.
And if you've seen a story like this that you would love for us to cover, you can send it to us at wehaveconcernsshow@gmail.com.